And we're back. James Spann here. It's the morning briefing. This is for Monday, the 2nd of January, 2023. Hope you had a great new year. Spent some time away off the grid a bit last week, but I'm back in the saddle again. And we have the chance of a few strong to severe storms across the state tomorrow, maybe a few scattered rain showers today. So a lot to talk about. Let's begin early this morning with a look at the upper air view across the country. Got a big trough in the western states, an upper low that's located around the Four Corners region, and that trough will be lifting out toward the Great Lakes, and that will provide the dynamic support for the chance of a few strong to severe storms across Alabama during the day tomorrow. So pretty quiet early this morning. That was the radar composite about 5:15, and we got a few little sprinkles around, and we'll have the chance of scattered showers later today, mainly this afternoon and tonight, but the heavier storms will be coming in here tomorrow. Temperatures this morning are mostly in the 50s on the eastern side of the state, 60s for West Alabama. And again, we're expecting highs over 70 in most spots today, much like yesterday. A very balmy early January day. So we'll check the watch warning map, and we're starting off the day again with a dense fog advisory for the southern half of the state here. All the counties in gray. And again, we've had this problem for days now, had that dense sea fog on the Gulf Coast over the weekend. And we also note we've got flash flood watches west of the state, the counties in green. That would be for parts of Louisiana, Arkansas, the Mississippi Delta back up toward Memphis. And then back in the cold air sector of the storm that will be developing, we have an ice storm warning for parts of Nebraska, Iowa, and Minnesota. That will ruin your day. Those are no good. Winter storm warnings in effect from Utah through parts of the high plains up into Minnesota. So again, it's the classic cold season system with strong to severe storms southeast of the low, snow and ice north and west of the low. So this is the severe weather outlook through tonight. And for the next 24 hours, the risk is north and west of here. We have an enhanced risk over parts of Arkansas, in fact, most all of Arkansas, and do northeastern Texas, northwest Louisiana. The broader risk runs from the western Gulf Coast up into Missouri. And then tomorrow, that risk extends into Alabama. Take a closer look at our state here. We have an enhanced risk. That's level 3 out of 5. For those that are new here, we have 5 levels of risk. 1 through 5. 1 is the lowest, 5 is the highest. We have a level 3 enhanced for parts of central and southwest Alabama, in that broad zone from Birmingham and Tuscaloosa down to Montgomery and just north of Mobile. For the rest of the state, we have a level 2 out of 5 risk, and then a marginal risk around Dothan and Ozark in the southeastern corner of the state. So this is the tornado outlook and the probabilistic outlook for tornadoes. And you can see that we have a hatched area defined in that level 3 out of 5 risk, and that means there could be a strong tornado or two in that area. And by definition, that is EF2 or higher. And again, that's in that same zone near Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, down to Montgomery and Mobile. And we'll talk much, much more about the timing and the threat levels and the magnitude of this as we go through modeling in just a second. And then this is the severe weather risk on day 3, which is Wednesday. We have a marginal risk basically east of the state. So this is the rain for the next 7 days. Heavier rains probably a little north and west of Alabama. The amounts here generally between 1 and 2 inches. And the bulk of that will be today and especially tomorrow. And by midday Wednesday, we'll be back into drier air. So model fans, let's go. This is the GFS, the 06C run valid today at 4. And we got a ridge over the Florida Peninsula, the big trough going negative tilt back in the western states. And again, we're going to have the chance of strong storms west of the state today, but we'll really focus on tomorrow. This is the surface chart for tomorrow, and we have the deep surface low that's located over western Iowa. And north and west of that, we have snow falling over parts of South Dakota and Minnesota. South and east of that, we have strong storms, maybe severe storms across Alabama. So let's talk about the timing, and let's go to high-resolution modeling here. This is valid tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock, coming off the high-res HRR model, HRRR, high-resolution rapid refresh. And you can see clusters of storms across the state. And again, we've got a lot of questions about the event tomorrow. The one thing that we'll be watching for, well, we have a lot of rain tomorrow morning that might prevent the air from becoming unstable. Not seeing a lot of evidence of that at this point, but that's not out of the question. But you can see that we really don't have a linear type situation, just clusters of storms across the state. And this is the instability coming off the HER. And if these numbers verify, instability will not be a problem. The air should be very unstable. In fact, we could see CAPE values. That CAPE is convective available potential energy, in excess of 2,000 joules per kilogram. That's pretty unstable for early January here, so that's not really a problem. This is the storm relative helicity. Another thing here, that the main dynamic support is going to be lifting pretty far north of here toward the Great Lakes. And those numbers could certainly bring some rotating updrafts. They're not overly impressive, but that could set a few updrafts into motion. And this is the significant tornado parameter. This is a composite index. And again, you can see we've got values basically between 2 and 5 units over a decent chunk of the state tomorrow afternoon. And finally, this is the updraft helicity product showing, and again, please understand, whenever we show this, this does not mean tornadoes will be moving along those lines, but it shows where there could be areas of maximum rotation within storm updrafts. And we've got one zone through northwest Alabama. The other zone is down through parts of southwest and central Alabama. That's the one down there that in that enhanced risk area. And in terms of the timing, now understand, we could clearly see and probably will have rain tomorrow morning, but this is the window for severe storms. In terms of the timing, the window between noon and 6 p.m. for the western side of the state, 2 to 8 p.m. for the central part of the state. That would include Birmingham, Montgomery, Huntsville. And then southeast Alabama, the window between 4 p.m. and midnight. So, and again, this is not, for those that are new here, this is tornado season. Tornado season in Alabama is November through May. It's not unusual to have days like this time of the year. And it's simply a day to be weather aware. The key, of course, is be sure that you can get warnings. And if you're watching this video to this point, you're a weather dweeb. You're going to get the warning. But be sure you let your friends and neighbors and relatives and people within your circle know that there's a chance of severe storms tomorrow. Tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night. And again, we'll watch developments unfolding carefully. And again, this is a somewhat conditional threat, but if everything lines up, it could be a fairly stormy afternoon and evening. So this is Wednesday. The rain should be over by midday for most locations. This is Wednesday at 3 o'clock. So rain ending Wednesday morning, and clouds will probably linger through the afternoon. And then this is Thursday, and that'll be a dry day. The sky partly to mostly sunny, a cooler day. The high probably mid to upper 50s for the northern half of the state, which is where we should be for this time of the year. This is Friday. We're cool and dry with lows in the 30s, highs in the 50s. That is exactly average, seasonal. What about the weekend, you ask? Well, this is Saturday. We're still dry. Again, we probably start the day in the 30s. We might bump up toward the low 60s. And then Sunday, a little feature comes in with a chance of showers. Probably nothing too heavy, but looks like a cloudy day with a chance of showers. The high will be in the 50s. And this is a week from today, Monday, the 9th of January, a zonal flow, and that feature is on by, and we're back in a dry air mass. And again, seasonal temperatures, 50s and 30s. Let's go out 10 days. This is Wednesday of next week, the 11th of January. A northwest flow aloft, and again, that's a dry air mass. So once we get the storms out of here, tomorrow night, things look relatively quiet for a while. This is rain for Birmingham coming off the European ensemble. The mean a little over 2 inches between now and the 17th of January. And again, we're going to be mild today and tomorrow. Highs around 70. Wednesday, upper 60s. And then mostly 50s during the day, 30s at night. And again, that is exactly average. And understand there's no such thing as normal weather. It doesn't exist, but there is average weather. And that is average weather for Alabama in January. And the latest 8 to 14-day guidance in the House, this is for January 9th through the 15th. Look at all the orange there. That means temperatures will likely be a little above average for Alabama in the eastern half of the United States. For now, we don't see any Arctic outbreaks around here through mid-January. But understand winter is still young, and for you cold weather fans, it'll be coming back at some point. And again, later this week, we'll have seasonal temperatures. A couple of quick shots from yesterday and last night. Beautiful sunset. for the northern half of the state. But down south, that dense sea fog rolled in, socking some places in. That was Panama City Beach at midday yesterday. For those in the condos there on the Gulf Coast, they could barely see the water. And that was a look at the sunset coming from Gulf Shores. A couple of guys out there fishing late yesterday. Kind of an eerie but a cool shot there. So one more time, for those that are watching live, we have a chance of severe storms across the state tomorrow. And tomorrow night, this is the convective outlook from the Storm Prediction Center. We have a level 3 out of 5 enhanced risk for parts of central and southwest Alabama. And then pretty much statewide, a level 2 out of 5 threat. The greater tornado probabilities are going to be in that enhanced risk area. And again, with the hatched area on that map, that there could be a strong tornado, and by definition, that's EF2 or higher, somewhere in that area, tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. And in terms of the timing, the window for the strong to severe storms opens up around noon for the western side of the state, noon to 6 o'clock for that western third, 2 to 8 p.m. for the central counties, Huntsville, Gadsden, Birmingham, Montgomery, Atmore, Greenville. And then for southeast Alabama, 4 until midnight, just simply a day to be weather aware. And again, we don't want anybody being anxious or stressed out about this kind of thing. It's very typical for this time of the year. So that's it for the morning briefing. For those that are new here, we simulcast these live on Facebook and YouTube in the morning about 5:15, in the afternoon about 2:30, weekends as necessary. Notes on the blog, alabamawx.com. That's our hub of all the weather information we produce. And, of course, we do invite you to watch us on television this evening. Thought I'd check the calendar real quick, see where we're going to be this week. Got a program scheduled tomorrow at Hamilton at the elementary school in the morning. And we'll take a look at the 12Z run here, and we'll make a call on that. If the program is tomorrow morning, we might have to move that depending on how the severe weather plays out. But Hamilton tomorrow. Wednesday, I'll be at Children's of Alabama, the Children's Hospital. Thursday, up in Huntsville, up in the Tennessee Valley. Got a homeschool group there. And then Friday, Pelham Oaks Elementary School. And don't know about a book signing yet on Saturday. We might be back on the road for that as well. But anyway, that's it for this update. Thanks for watching. Have a marvelous day, and we'll see you on ABC